Good evening. I am Susan Eileen, and this is Coach Joe. And tonight we're talking about gift number 5 of sobriety. We are doing the 12 gifts of sobriety
Mhm.
this December so that you can mentally prepare yourself for to have a successful dry January. And one of the other components to having a successful dry January is actually the book that I wrote, From Nada to Prada.
Mhm.
And I think it's a hybrid of my memoir, my experience, strength, and hope, along with self-help, the Breaking the Chains program that Coach Joe developed, and also not too much depth to it, but issues um, that you'll experience in early sobriety, like the pink cloud or transfer addiction, and how to navigate that. And it won't necessarily tell you 100% of the solution, but at least it lets you help identify the problem before it escalates.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It starts internally and works out.
So today we're talking about self-confidence. And realistically, if you have had an addiction problem, or if you currently have an addiction problem, your self-confidence was probably never where it really needed to be in order to have successful relationships. Now, my self-confidence always came through at work. So I have been a teacher since the early 90s, and my work personality apparently is much more successful than, say, the personality outside of work. So with a self-confidence that's not where it should be, you unknowingly attract other people that have low self-esteem and insecurity issues. And the reason why that's a problem is because, for instance, if you get into a boyfriend girlfriend relationship with a guy, and people might say, like, I don't even know what you guys have in common. Well, I'll tell you what you have in common. Your internal operating system is the same. Your emotional algorithm, the insecurities, some of the dysfunction that you may have learned from your family of origin, that dysfunction from the family of origin actually is affecting your self-confidence as well. So with a compromised self-confidence, you are accidentally attracting all of the wrong people into your life. And then it's reinforcing your internal dialogue that, like, see, I don't know how to do this adult life thing because I keep trying and I keep getting terrible results. And realistically, it's because the emotional algorithm from childhood is still there. So the way I have, like, ended up outgrowing actually every romantic relationship I've ever been in is because my work personality was so solid, and that self-confidence at work was so solid that I would continue to raise the bar in my professional life, but have the same people from 3 years ago. Like, we were on the same page 3 years ago, but 3 years later we're not.
Mhm.
And that ends up triggering their insecurities. And then it causes fights, some pretty toxic fights, actually, because you've triggered their insecurities. And again, none of this is intentional. These are related to malfunctioning emotional algorithms. Uh, so in sobriety, as you do that deep inner work and you realize, like, I can't raise the bar by buying a suit at Macy's. I can't raise the bar by you know by drinking at a work party. I can't raise the bar by trying to add money by, gambling at the convenience store. Like, the only way I can raise the bar is inside.
Yep.
So, the way you raise the bar inside is you start filling your life with rewarding activities. And when you're in active addiction, the words rewarding and fulfilling are so foreign to you. It's sort of like some of the other videos that we've done. You don't know what we're talking about because you haven't experienced, but trust me, it's out there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the self-confidence instead of self-pity is, a lot of what you were describing was very often with addictive behavior, that person is seeing themselves as a victim. That's where that self-pity comes in. They feel like they have no control over their life, they have no control over their relationships, no control over work, and those coping mechanisms never developed. Very often, they have never developed beyond what you knew as a kid. And so you're looking for a way out from that victim mentality, and that addictive behavior is the thing that makes it go away, at least for a little bit, but then you're on that treadmill because
Yes.
eventually it wears off and the problem is still there. So the transformation, so for example, with Susan Eileen, so the transformation with Susan, this person, Susan, has really, I would say, when we started getting together, when we got connected about 3 years ago, um, there wasn't a lot of self-pity there because you had your third rock bottom, but
Yeah.
you were still working on the confidence, and that's where
Yeah.
the breaking the chains, what I call breaking the chains, really comes into play, because now you're starting to figure out through the process how you're wired and how you're relating to yourself and relating to yourself better, so that you can then relate to your world better.
Yes, and that is exactly the missing piece, is that you're not relating to the world in a healthy way. So you're not getting the results that you want because your approach, while is not a successful, sustainable approach.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, sobriety, rewarding, fulfilling activities, doing the inner work that corrects that emotional algorithm. When you do all of that, your self-confidence just shows up. And when your self-confidence shows up, now all of a sudden you are attracting things, different things, better things into your life, because now, believe it or not, the really dysfunctional people, they actually can now sense that you are so different that they don't even approach you. Like when
Yep,
you walk with self-confidence, when you walk with authenticity, you're walking around like a mob boss. The weak and the insecure just stay away. So,
absolutely. Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it causes a lot, of tension. So we put together these 12 gifts of sobriety. And if you notice this, so far we have talked about the JOMO, the joy of missing out, hope, freedom, relationship, self-confidence, and we're just keep building on this. And you can see a pattern here. You can see a path forward. So wherever you are in your recovery journey, reach out to us. You're going to get our contact information at the end of the video. Go on Amazon or Barnes and Noble and pick up a copy of Susan's book. And in January, for Dry January, we are going to have two workshops, January 2nd, January 4th. You'll see that information as well. Register and let's have a conversation and see if you are, or you can be helped through uh, addictive behavior coaching, recovery coaching. Until
it's
next time.
obviously has worked for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm exceptionally confident that it will work for you. So
Yep.
my
Yep.
life does not even remotely look like what it did 4 years ago at rock bottom.
Absolutely. And as Susan Eileen said about 2 videos ago, Sobriety has a 100% satisfaction rate.
Yes, I've never met anybody who said, "Man, I wish I was still at rock bottom." It's never happened, not
It's a,
once.
nope, it's never happened. And on that note, we're going to let you go, and we will see you back with the next episode, episode number 6.
All right, good night.